Hi everyone, my name's Daryl. So I've done a lot of RAV4 Prime content, but I haven't done much in the way of maintenance on my RAV4 Prime, mostly just because the first few oil changes were free. And so now it's time to where I no longer get a free oil change, and so I figured I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. I'm not a mechanic. I'm probably not even a do-it-yourself home mechanic. I mean, I'm not very mechanically inclined, but changing the oil on your RAV4 is pretty simple, and so I'm gonna go ahead and tackle that today. So I guess one of the first questions that I would ask if you wanted to do this yourself is, really, is it worth the time and the money? So I got kind of like their gold maintenance, or I can't remember what they call it. I got it on a piece of paper. But it's where they do the 160-point inspection, and they check all the fluids, and they do the tire rotation, and they also do the oil change. And that cost about 106 bucks. So I know I didn't want to do the tire rotation myself just because, I don't want to have to jack up both sides of the vehicle and put both the front and the back on jack stands in order to rotate the tires. So I knew for sure I didn't want to do that. And that costed me 35 bucks basically to get the tires rotated. So to get the actual full service was 106 bucks. So basically, to check the fluids and to do a quick test drive and stuff would cost about 71 bucks. So I looked on Amazon, and I can get the 0 weight 16 oil, and you can actually kind of go back and forth between the 0 weight 16 and the 0 weight 20 between oil changes. But I like to change my oil every 5,000 miles because we do a lot of towing. So, but I looked at the 0 weight 16 oil, and I can get that on Amazon for 30 bucks delivered. So that's pretty good. And then to get an oil filter, I actually got it from my Toyota dealer. And so that was about 8 bucks, I think. And so that's 38. So basically by doing it myself, I'm saving about 34, 35 bucks. So yeah, it's a little bit. And you get to have a little fun with your car and learning a little bit more about your car, and you get the satisfaction of doing it yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. So the tools that you're gonna need, right? So obviously you're gonna need your motor oil. So Toyota recommends the 0 weight 16 motor oil. They say you can alternate between 0 weight 16 and 0 weight 20. I got the Mobile One oil. You're gonna need an oil filter, obviously. So when you change out the oil filter, I actually just got this directly from Toyota. You need some rags to make sure you clean up. You probably need a siphon to get the oil in. You need some sort of a ratchet set, basically, to get everything open. And you need kind of like a little oil drain container here to get all of our oil. And I think for the most part, that's it. So one of the first things that you're going to need to do is lift your RAV4. So yeah, I'm just gonna use this lumber I got from Home Depot. And so it raises it probably about, I guess, 3 or 4 inches or so. I actually use this because I have this Mustang GT over here that's really low. And I also have my cool GTR that I'm actually gonna be selling soon. It's quite a shame. But yeah, I'm getting too old for a GTR. So the GTR sits really low. And so, yeah, I need to use that to get even jack stands underneath it. But we're gonna use the wood over here, and we're just going to drive over the top of it with the RAV4, and it should raise it just enough so that we can get underneath and change the oil. Oh, I guess let me show you the part number of this oil filter that I got from Toyota. So you can see that. And supposedly the RAV4 Prime, it takes 4.5 quarts of the 0 weight 16. And so that should be all we need. All right, so I successfully got both tires underneath the wood planks here. And so I should have plenty of access to be able to open up the kind of the oil cover. I think there's 4 bolts that you need to remove. I think they're 10 millimeter. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out in just a second. Oh, so before I remove those bolts, typically you're supposed to basically remove the cover for the oil, you know, so it relieves the pressure so it can drain properly. It's kind of actually hard to read on here. Usually the oil thing is a little bit clearer to read. I don't have a whole lot of light, so that's probably why. But here's your where you add your oil, and so we'll go ahead and remove that. Ooh. Okay. All right, so there's our kind of like our oil cover right there. And there are 4 10 millimeter bolts. There is one right over here. There's one here. There's one over here. And then there's one right there. And so basically I'm just gonna use a socket wrench to go ahead and remove those. And it should just take a second. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this guy first. And then we'll remove this one. And then we'll remove the other 2. All right, so after those 4 bolts are removed, then we basically have the oil drain plug right here. And over here, let me get some light on that. So we've got the oil drain plug right there. And then we've got the Toyota filter right there. And so first we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil drain plug, and not sure what bolt that is, we'll figure it out. And then we'll remove that and get some oil container underneath it to get the oil, and then we'll remove the oil filter. Yeah, so before I remove that oil drain plug, I'm gonna go ahead and put some towels down. You can put down some sort of big paper towel or a big towel or something like that to, you know, just in case you get a little messy. All right, so it looks like the drain plug is a 14 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that. And we got our oil catch pan right here to get the oil, and I think we're recording, so let's go ahead and remove this. It was torqued down pretty good, but got a little messy. So we'll go ahead and let that drain out. And the next thing we're gonna do is remove the existing oil filter. Okay, so took a while to drain, but finally did it. So about 10 minutes later or so, I guess it's all done. And so now I'm gonna reinstall the drain plug. And I don't know if there's a torque spec on this. I probably should look it up. But I don't think you're really supposed to torque it down. Let me look it up and I'll let you know, but I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it first. Still dripping just a little bit, but yeah, I don't think it's any big deal. So go ahead and reinstall that. And I hand tightened it, so let me put a little more torque on it. Not a lot. Just hand tighten, I think, is the idea. And I'm gonna go ahead now and make sure I clean that all off so that there's nothing dripping, because we want to check afterwards just to make sure there are no leaks. What do you want to bet? When I move the oil filter, I'm gonna have to clean that again. We'll see. Okay, so now time to remove the oil filter. Oh, I forgot this tool. This is my little oil filter wrench tool. And put that on there. And turn. Doesn't seem to be coming off. So lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. All right, I got it correct. Try it again. It is kind of hard to get the tool in there. It's not a whole lot of room. I think I got it. Yeah, I don't think this is the right tool for this particular filter. All right, so for other newbies out there, I didn't realize it, but I had another oil filter kind of removal tool that I typically used on my other cars, but I guess you need a special one for Toyota. So yeah, I couldn't remove it without this, so I'm gonna use this and we'll get going with removing the oil filter. All right, so this has been like a total disaster. I thought the oil change on the RAV4 Prime was gonna be really easy, and it really should be, but the problem is, I thought it was just gonna be a regular oil change and I could use this to remove the filter. And the problem is RAV4s, and I guess Toyotas in general, have a different filter design, and they require a special tool. And so when I tried to remove it, I actually ended up kind of rounding out the filter because it's plastic and it's, you can easily damage it. So when I tried to use the special filter for Toyota and Lexus products, now I can't actually get this around the filter. And so I can't remove the filter. So I looked online, and there's folks that have kind of drilled out kind of like where this goes, and then they'll put like a big screwdriver or something in the holes, and they can remove the filter that way. Sometimes people use kind of really big wrenches to remove it. The other thing is sometimes, Toyota techs or an oil tech will just torque it down too much using like an impact wrench, and it makes it very difficult to remove. So yeah, it's Sunday, and so the Toyota dealership is closed, so I can't take it there. I'm just gonna take it to a regular oil change center, and hopefully they can get that filter off for me and do the oil change. So yeah, if you are a beginner, it can be sometimes a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So you might want to do yourself a favor and just, pay the extra 30 bucks and have Toyota do the oil change for you. But it's a learning experience. And so, yeah, I got a trip planned on Tuesday. I mean, I could probably play with it a little bit more and attempt to remove the filter by drilling a hole in it. But I just don't want to get any further in the hole than I'm currently already am. And so hopefully I can take it to oil change center and they can fix it for me. So yeah, it sucks, but I'll give you the results here in a little while. And this video turned out a lot different than I thought it would be. But hopefully I learned something, and hopefully next time I can use the right filter remover and I won't have this problem. So yeah, I'll report back in a little bit. All right, so getting the oil change at the valve lean place, and so interesting. So they actually suck the oil from the opposite direction, so they don't actually use the drain plug, because they're kind of worried about cross-threading, and I think it just kind of saves them a possible expense. So kind of interesting. Okay, so they're trying to take the oil filter off now. I think they're using a little bit of a different tool, so we'll see if they can get it off. I don't think it's going very well. And it looks like they were able to get the filter off, so that's exciting. All right, you guys, so I'm back from getting the oil change, and they were able to get the filter off. I think you saw they had to use multiple tools to try to get that filter off. I mean, I probably could have done it, but I just didn't want to take a chance at this point because we do have a trip to take. And yeah, so instead of saving myself like 35 bucks, I ended up costing myself 35 bucks. So, you know, here's basically what it cost me. Yeah, so there's my receipt from the Valvoline oil change place, and it cost me $107. They charged me quite a bit for the fully synthetic 0W16 oil. Yeah, so if you do decide to do the oil change yourself, this is what I tried to use, this kind of standard oil filter wrench to get the oil filter off, and this thing didn't work, and it actually rounded out the corners of the filter, so I couldn't take it off. So this is what you need, just kind of the standard Toyota oil filter wrench cover thingy, and this basically just goes around the oil filter, makes it relatively easy to remove. So if you do plan to do it yourself, you know, and save yourself a little money, just make sure you get the right tools first, so you don't have the nightmare like I did, and kind of the embarrassment, both embarrassment from the wife that I couldn't get it done, and also the embarrassment of taking it out to the Valvoline place. But yeah, it was interesting, the Valvoline place, how they decided to use kind of a different kind of vacuum to get the oil out. I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, so if you did learn anything, got some laughs at my expense, please like this video and also subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you in a more successful video sometime soon. Okay, bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year